Good morning, House of Grace. My name is Jan Brister, and I am your host for this week's service. So, it's May. Welcome to May. Don't forget this morning, as we're getting ready to worship, as we're getting ready to hear Pastor Joey's sermon, you can like us on Facebook. You can share this video with one of your friends or somebody maybe that you've met recently on social media or maybe have bumped into distance at the grocery store. Or you can leave your comments. We like to see how you're doing. We like to see what the messages that we're providing to you, how it's impacting you in your home. So let's get ready with our Bibles, with our pens and our notebooks, with our praise hearts ready to receive worship this morning. Stand to your feet wherever you are, on your front porch or in your living room, and get ready to worship with the House of Grace Band.
Anyone able to break the seal?
just welcome you into this place. I welcome you into this place, into our homes, into our hearts, into our minds, into our bodies, into our lives. Just welcome you. Welcome you. Welcome you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, searching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, searching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. Oh, I worship you. That's why we call him Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 My God is who you are. That is who you are. My God is who you are. That is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, 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 waymaker, miracle worker. Who is he, church? Waymaker, miracle worker, waymaker, miracle worker, waymaker, miracle worker, waymaker, miracle worker. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working.
stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop, you are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. We call him Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. My God is who you are. That is who you are. My God is who you are. That is who you are. My God 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 is who you are.
You are the light in the darkness. That is who you are. Thank you that you are the light in the darkness. Yes, God. We yield to you, God. We yield to you. We invite you to touch our hearts. Touch our hearts, God.
Welcome, everyone, to our first May 2020 service here at House of Grace. I am your host for this morning's service, Jan Brister. And guess what? I have a couple of announcements for us, right? Okay, so last week we ended the Dig virtual raffle. And there are two gorgeous ladies who won that raffle last week. So that is awesome, but it doesn't secure your spot for the retreat. That's what the raffle was for. It is for our Dig annual women's retreat. So now the challenge is, ladies, is to get out there and reserve your spot. You can do that through the 24th of May. That's when your deposits are due. And when we make that deposit, that secures our spot for this year's women's retreat. So get out there, get ready. If you have any questions about this, you can contact Deanna Brady. She is our Dig coordinator for this year. You can look her up on the House of Grace member forum, or you can send her a text message if you have her phone information. The second announcement I have for us this week is about Mother's Day. Yes, that's right. Mother's Day is next week. So if that's kind of slipped by you, well, here's your reminder. We have something special that we are going to do in this virtual season that we're in this year. This is what you want to do. I want you to go out on the House of Grace member forum. And we want to, starting today, to post about the mother figures in our life. I say mother figures because, well, let's face it, we have biological moms, we have foster moms, we have stepmoms, we have grandmas. We may have a great aunt or an aunt who's influenced us in our life. We have spiritual moms. There may be just a lady within your community, at your work, or in your church that has just made a huge impact in a motherly way in your life? Well, we want to honor those women. They have impacted our lives. They have guided us. They have corrected us. They have encouraged us along the way. So we are going to show them how much we love them and share our thoughts about them via our member forum this year. Now, here is an important piece to this. With every post that you make, which could be a video, it could be a picture and you share a comment of a favorite memory that you have or an impactful time in your life, or it can just be a short paragraph that you want to write some words for them. But all of those things need to have the hashtag mother figures. This is extremely important. Why? Because we're going to go through the tons and tons of posts that I know that we're going to receive, and we are going to pick 3 ladies that are being posted about in those on the member forum, and we are going to give them a gift. What is the gift? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, get out there and start today leaving your post. Now, those posts, let's post them through Saturday at noon. Okay, Saturday at noon. So you got a lot of time, about a week here, to get those posts going and active out there. Last week, I spoke about how the tithe here at House of Grace impacted us globally and was impacting the community. This week, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who is able to still tithe. Thank you to those of us who are figuring out how to give online, who are writing checks, who are saying, how can we still do the tithe, physically get it here. I want to say thank you for those of you that are praying and covering our church when it comes to this. Those of us that our hearts are still remaining obedient. I just can't say thank you enough to how much we appreciate you in the tithe category. Pastor Joey has given us teachings on it. We've seen little videos on it. We have read through the Bible, I hope, on it, and see that from cover to cover that it's talked about, and this is a biblical thing. And so in those areas of your life, you are learning, you are growing, and we see the impact. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for growing spiritually, growing relationally, and growing in community through the tithe. Now, last week, Pastor Joey talked to us about words to live by. This week is the second part to this sermon. I know in our small group and in our home, we have taken him up on his challenge of putting a report card out there. And if others of you have decided to do that, we'd love to see what you're doing with your report cards on the member forum. And if you haven't got a report card started, well, you know what? This is week 2, and it's not too late. Words to live by, how words impact our life. Let's hear what Pastor Joey has to teach us this week about our words.
Well, hello. It's great to be with you here on Facebook, YouTube, the internet, and any other platform you might be watching us with this morning or this afternoon. God bless you. We're excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. I hope you're glad to be here. So today I'm going to pick up right where I left off from last week. Now, in case you didn't see last week, that's okay. Let me give you the real quick rundown on what I spoke about. Last week, I started a message called Words to Live By, things that you should say effectively and often. These words, learning to say these words, will change your life. Today is part 2. Are you ready? Here we go. How many of you have a baby? I keep seeing baby announcements, gender reveals, and baby pregnancy announcements on Facebook and social media. So it seems that maybe we've got a lot of babies on the way for later this year. So congratulations to you if you're having a baby. Laura and I have had 5 babies. Yeah, you heard me right, 5 babies. And each of them are amazing. And I remember, if you've never had a child, then you'll experience this soon. But if you've had kids, you'll know what I'm talking about. Your vocabulary seems to change when you begin having children. In fact, you'll learn that words that were just totally fine for you and your spouse to say pre-baby are no longer allowed. Usually it's the mom who lets the dad know which words are now taboo. One word, depending on your household, I don't know if it's okay to say this on camera, but is the word but. I had to say it softly because I've been trained that it's not okay to say that word. When I was growing up, people would say that thing is very soft. How soft is it? Well, it's as soft as a baby's butt. Well, it wasn't a cuss word, but now once you have children, my wife informed me, you can't say but. And I was like, well, what do you say? And she's like, you can say behind or behind. I'm like, is that a word? Tuchus, tush. You can say heine. Can you say heine on social media? I don't know. I just did. But you get the idea. There are words that you all of a sudden learn that you're not supposed to say anymore. Learn words that you're supposed to stop saying. Well, you've probably got your own little list of no-nos that you're not supposed to let cross those lips. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Plenty of people already have words they're trying to stop saying. I want to talk about words that you should start saying. Start saying. Let's look at a Bible verse, and this has been our foundational verse for both last week and today. It's Proverbs 18, 20 and 21. From the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. That's right. You heard that correctly. The proverb here says, what comes out of your mouth will actually be what you eat and will go back into you. And it's not referring to your stomach, it's referring to your heart. In other words, what you speak and how you speak it will determine the life that you enjoy or don't enjoy. Oftentimes, it will have to do with your relationships. That's right. We're going to learn how to do life better today. Last week, I gave you 4 things that you should start saying. And I've heard a lot of you saying, we're doing it, Joey. We're doing it. We're practicing these words and we're getting better. And I am excited for you. The first phrase last week was, I'm so thankful for you. That one was kind of easy. I'm so thankful for you. Not easy for all of us because some of us, it's a little challenging to be thankful. But we're working on it, right? And the next phrase we talked about, it got a little harder for some of this. This felt like a cuss word because we had to say it out loud to other people in the room. And it was 2 words. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The next one went right along with it. Will you please forgive me? Will you please forgive me? And lastly, from last week was the response to that is, I forgive you. I don't have time to teach that message. Go back and watch it on Facebook or YouTube and catch that. But we encourage you to start practicing and even ask other people in your home, how am I doing with each one of these words? How am I doing? But let's get into this week's words. The first one, we're starting out easy again, okay? The first one is this. You're doing great. You're doing great. Now, we need to share encouragement with people. Did you know people need to be encouraged? Did you know the Bible talks about being encouraging? In fact, the word Barnabas, the name Barnabas means son of encouragement. Doubtful that was his original birth name, but Paul's friend Barnabas was such an encourager that they nicknamed him Encourager. When people, if they were to nickname you, would that be the name they chose? Something to think about. You're doing great. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing. Build each other up. How do you build each other up? With encouragement, with words of affirmation. It goes on in verse 14 to say, and we urge you, brothers, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with them all. See, to encourage people, you're going to have to be patient. Sometimes they're not going to do it as good as you wanted them to do or as soon as you wanted them to do it at that level. But you need to encourage them at the level they're on, at the place they're in, and be patient with their progress because God is patient with you. So look at the person beside you, write it in the chat box, say, you're doing great. You're doing great. There's a quote that says, a word of encouragement during a failure is worth more than an hour of praise after a success. So even when we're not doing things perfectly, we still need encouragement. Hey, you're doing great. You tried hard. You can do this. I believe in you. Find some phrase of affirmation. Be an encourager. The world already has plenty of critics. You're doing great. Number 6 out of our 8 is, I'm so sorry that happened. And I have learned sometimes when somebody is going through something, they need someone to talk to about it. They need someone to listen. And I had married guys, let me save you some time. A lot of times when our wife is sharing something with us, or if you have daughters like I do, or even sons, sometimes if they have the courage to share something with you, to share their struggle, it doesn't necessarily mean they're asking you to fix it. I know. It's tough for me too. I want to fix everything, but sometimes people just need us to listen. And then at the end of listening well and actually focusing on what they're saying, not tuning out, not looking at our watch, not looking at our phone, not looking at the TV, but look them in the eyes and just say, I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry. It's called apathy. I'm sorry, it's not called apathy. It's called empathy. We don't need any more apathy. We need empathy. Apathy is when you just don't care. Empathy is when you do care. Slip. Romans 12:15 says, be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. Galatians 6:2. Share each other's burdens and in this way obey the law of Christ. Wow. If you think you are too important to help someone, you are only fooling yourself. You are not that important. That's a Bible verse, guys. Galatians 6:2-3. That last part sounded like me talking. That was the Bible. If you think you are too important to help someone, you're only fooling yourself. You are not that important. Wow. We're never too important to say, you know what, I'm sorry that happened. It doesn't mean you're taking responsibility. It means you're showing that you care and you hate that that person is hurting in that way. Look at the person next to you in the room and say, I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry that happened. Just practice it. It says I care. Number 7, here's the question. I wrote it 3 different ways, but it means the same thing. The question is this: what's on your mind? What's on your mind? Or you may say, how are you? And I don't mean like, hey, how are you? Not the insincere, please don't answer my question sincerely question. I mean like, no, really, let's sit down and talk about it. How are you? What's on your mind? And then if they have the courage to begin to share, you look them in the eyes and you listen with both ears and you listen with your head and your heart and you think about the words they're saying. You try to imagine how it feels. You might insert one of those, I'm sorry that happens, if they're going through a hard time. And you may follow up with, what else? What else is on your mind? So look at the person next to you and just practice saying it. What's on your mind? How are you? Show people that you care. Proverbs 17:7 says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. James 1:19, this is one of the favorites at my house. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Oh, let's say that one again. James 1:19. You might want to put that in the chat box. James 1:19. That might need to be your memory verse for this week. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. We should be quick to listen, to hear not only someone's words, but to hear their heart. Do you know, if you're like me, oftentimes my words come out wrong. Sometimes my tone will mess it up. I have these crazy faces that my wife says I make. So I just want to talk like this sometimes and cover my face, but that's not going to do it. So she has to listen past my looks. She has to listen past my tones and listen for my heart. And then she has to say, instead of saying whatever with her face, she has to look at me and say, what else is on your mind? See, these kind of phrases are going to change. They sound simple, guys. I know they sound simple, but most of us are not good at them. We're not good at these things. I've got one more for you. Can you handle one more? I know that you can. Here it is. This is going to stretch some of you. This is going to stretch especially some of us guys. So stay with me, guys. I need you to be brave. I need you to be strong. Don't bail out on me now. Here's how it goes. I wrote it 3 different ways. The first way to say it is, I'm feeling. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm feeling. Guys, did you know that you feel things? I'm not saying, see, this isn't sissy stuff. This isn't This isn't girly stuff. Of course, girls feel things too, but sometimes guys have been taught not to feel, or that it's not okay to feel. But you feel whether you acknowledge it or not. It's just how you express it. And most of the time, we don't express it for so long, and then eventually we express it in harmful ways. But if you learn to actually say something like, you know what, that makes me feel angry. That makes me feel sad. That makes me feel jealous. There are so many of us that we don't even know what we feel. And we think that that means we don't feel. But you do feel. You just don't know what you feel. And because you don't know what you feel, you don't know how to process it healthily. I'm not trying to Dr. Phil you. I'm trying to Bible you. I'm trying to teach you how to be a healthy human. Jesus had feelings, and he processed them, and he knew how to express them. He had anger. He had sadness. He knew how to process his feelings. We've got to learn what we're feeling. That makes me feel. I'm feeling. Or you could say, I'm struggling with feeling this way. And here's the deal. Here's how this is really going to help you, especially in your relationships. Too many times when you feel hurt, you express anger, but you're really hurt. But instead, you lunge out to hurt someone else when what you really wanted was to be healed. But we don't realize that we're hurt, so we don't realize that we need to be healed. So we misexpress hurt for anger, and it wants to hurt someone else. Hurt people hurt people. The only reason that's true, though, is because hurt people don't know how to process their hurt. Oh, come on, somebody. You want some Bible for it? I got some Bible for it. Proverbs 15:28. The heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. The mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. What does that got to do with saying how you're feeling? It's got everything to do with it, because too many times we handle confrontation saying we're hurt, but we come at it like a lion, and we accuse the other person, and we start jumping on them, starting a fight. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to fight back. You bite me, I bite you, and we just start going at it, and it just makes a mess. It makes a mess. You know it does. Here's how you stop it. Instead of saying, you did this, you always, you never, what you do is you say, you know what? I'm struggling with feeling mad about what happened. I'm struggling with feeling upset about that conversation we had the other day. I'm feeling hurt, and I've got to do something with these feelings, so I want to talk to you about it and see if maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just want to sort it out with you because I value our relationship. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I'm telling you, these simple tools of learning how to communicate and express yourself healthily will increase the fruit of the Spirit in your life, and they will crush and strangle out your flesh man who wants to make a mess of all your relationships. This will create healthy habits that will bring life to your life. I hope you're catching this. Let me review them quickly with you. We're done for today, guys. You got your homework cut out for you. Your first phrase was, you're doing great. And the second phrase is, I'm so sorry that happened. After that, we talked about, how are you? What's on your mind? What else? We learned to listen, didn't we? The last one, the big challenge was, I'm feeling. That makes me feel, or, I'm struggling with feeling this particular way. So here's your homework. Take those questions, think about them, discuss them as a family. And look, none of us are perfect. I've got challenges in all 8 phrases, but I want to grow. I want to be a great father. Do you want to be a great father? Do you want to be a great mother? Do you want to be a great grandmother, sister, brother, employee, neighbor, friend? Don't we all want to be a great friend? Master these simple phrases. Get them in your mouth often, say them consistently, and learn to do it effectively. Ask others how you're doing, because they'll be more honest with you than you'll be with yourself. God bless you as you grow into the character of Christ. We are on your team.
Well, I hope that you have been equipped, encouraged, and challenged by this week's message. Let's not forget our midweek service. Let's not forget the pop-ins that you can view on Pastor Joey's Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. Let's not forget our tithe at houseofgrace.life or at our post office box. Let's not forget to reach out and connect with each other this week as we're still practicing social distancing. And let's also not forget that next week is Mother's Day, and we're going to have a special Mother's Day message right here at House of Grace for you to listen to. Get out there, Honor our mothers on our House of Grace member forum. Have an awesome week. And remember to love God, love each other, and love the lost.